Yes, now, Dr. Mashudu Tshifularo made history in 2019 for performing the world's first ever middle ear replacement surgery using 3D-printed bones. This pioneering South African medical device event took the spotlight in the award-winning American medical drama, Grey's Anatomy. Newzroom Afrika's Malungelo Booi caught up with Dr. Tshifularo about his journey in restoring hearing loss.
Are we going to wait for people to come from outside and try to solve our own problems? Why? Because we don't believe in our brains? We don't believe in our people? That narrative must change.
What does that award mean to you right now?
You know, from your brain, everything crashed down and you said, wow. But I said, I must not accept this defeat.
Do you think enough is being done to invest in science and innovation in this country?
I said, they don't know what I have in my sleeves. The day I'll present mine, they will know who am I. The greatest of all time. I said, okay, now I'm a gold.
Professor Mashudu Tshifularo is not just a towering figure in these hospital corridors. He's a man who holds many titles. He's a father, pastor, and mentor. He's also a man blessed with one of the most innovative minds in South Africa, and perhaps the world. In fact, to him, innovation comes naturally, akin to a lifestyle.
I describe myself as a person who looks for solution. And I underline it as an innovator, inventor, coming with new ideas and looking at a problem in a 360-degree overview to say, how can I solve this problem?
Part of your life revolves around finding solutions for some of the health complications that we have,
Exactly.
Not only here in South Africa, but globally. Why is that important to you?
Because as an academic in any field, like in medicine now, and when you are given titles like professor, for argument's sake, you cannot be a professor who don't prophesy. So, in other words, you are entrusted with authority that you can speak new ideas. So there are some titles that they're just there for the sake of being there. But once you are in my position as a leader, as a pioneer, you must be able to come with new ideas. So you can't be a professor who don't prophesy. So student must say, this is what my professor has taught me. This is how my professor do things. So for me, is what the position and the job and requires.
That you prophesy.
That we speak new thing.
The Limpopo-born native first captured the nation's imagination when he was thrust into the spotlight in 2019. That was when he made global headlines for a historic medical breakthrough. He led his team through a rather delicate ear operation using 3D-printed bones for reconstructing middle ear implants. This historic surgery thus proved a cure for certain types of deafness. The pioneering transplant was performed on a patient whose middle ear had suffered extensive and near-complete damage in a car accident. It was the first surgery of its kind in the world, yet Professor Tshifularo remains incredibly humbled despite this historic achievement.
When I finished and I went back to become a professor, I was the youngest professor at the University of Medunsa by then. Then I said, but I cannot be here and I'm not adding in the body of knowledge. Everything we're reading in the medical books are written from outside South Africa and Africa. So that's why I have a motto that the books are written about the patient, but the patient don't read books, and the disease don't know what has been written about them. So every patient is an individual. It's a loaded statement. So if you come to me and you have a disease, and let's say we said for you to have sinus, you have to have a headache, you have to have running nose, you have to have this and this. You might come without any of those. You just have lost a sense of smell.
Yeah.
But then I have to think out of the block to say, but I've noticed that the patients that comes from my village with sinuses, they don't present like how they were written in the book. So that's how I continue to research to say, okay, there's this condition where the bones in the middle ear get damaged, and this is how we've been trying to repair them for many years. Then that's when I started to engage in in a higher degree studies, the PhD studies that have been reading just on the hearing, until I said, the best I think is 3D. 3D, you can recreate everything. That's when 2019 came. For 3 years, I was working on that day in and day out. Every time I would think, how can I make it exact? How can I make it exact? It's the smallest bone in the body. And the day I discovered, I told my dean, I told my principal, I told people in the university. Some of them, they did not even believe that, but I did not realize that it was big. So when I attend conference, when I listen to so-called pioneers all over the world presenting the talks, I said, they don't know what I have in my sleeves. The day I'll present mine, they will know who am I.
Prof, who benefits then from this breakthrough?
I think many people benefit, and I think human being and knowledge advancement benefit, because this breakthrough, it is, I said to somebody, you can't talk about 3D in medicine and you don't mention me. Because before 2019, 3D was not associated with medicine. After I've done it with 3D, then people started to say, oh, artificial intelligence is here, 3D is here. And I went back to the one of the gurus of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. They were saying that only in 2025 we'll be able to recreate the middle ear or organs in the body. Me, I did in 2019.
What are you busy counting?
No, I'm not sure yet.
Is it for the theater?
Yeah, we use this for the when we do the ear operations.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's part of the ear operation.
Okay, good.
If I meet you, when you leave, you must feel better than before you meet me.
Yeah.
I must be an angel of light. So the person who is deaf, they are so frustrated. I remember when we did our cochlear implant here at Steve Biko, which was spearheaded by Dr. Kinoshi. The first time when I implanted one of the patients, that patient said, now I can appreciate the rain. I can hear the noise of the water. I can hear the noise of the toilet flushing, which they could not appreciate before. And I remember one guy who said, for the past 10 years, I could not talk to anybody. Now he could not stop talking because now he can hear. He said, you have really, really, really gave my life back to me.
But this was not the first time Professor Tshifularo had displayed his prowess as a game changer in science. He first wrote his name in the history books of medical innovation in 2008.
HIV was becoming a lot of problem in the country. And now I was sitting and hearing a lot of patients said, Dr. So-and-so does not want to touch me, and my tonsils are big, are infected, they are affecting the quality of life, and we're told we're the epicenter of HIV, maybe genetical or whatever, most probably genetical in the subtype. Then I said, but if now we have these patients, what are we going to do? Does it mean that we must fold our hands and not help them? So in a way of trying to solve the problem, I said, I must come with a technique that even if it's a patient who has an HIV and big tonsil or any other patient, I must be able to operate that patient without bleeding. Tonsillectomy, we used to do it for almost 45 minutes to an hour, and patient needed transfusion during our training. And when I was still young, and I was witnessing how it was like butchering somebody. Now I can do that procedure. I can remove your tonsil in 2 minutes at the most, without a single drop of blood.
Yeah.
Clean sweet. No. So when I did that, it was trying to look for a solution to say people with a problem like unfortunate or infection of HIV or any other thing, it does not mean that there's no solution. This is the solution that we can help. As I told you, when you're an innovator, you keep on looking for solution.
As if that was not enough, in the year 2000, this father of 6 was also the country's first and only ear, nose and throat professor. Professor Tshifularo's multiple achievements and success as an adult were once the aspirations of a young boy growing up in rural Venda who dreamt of making a meaningful impact in the people's lives. He went on to realize his dreams despite the discouraging words of a former teacher who once told him he wasn't bright enough to become a doctor.
When you are still young, you want to be recognized, you want to be appreciated by your teacher. So every student will stand up, no, I want to become a father, hey, I want to become a mother, I want to become a police, I want to become a teacher. So somehow I stood up, I said, I want to become a teacher. He said, no, you are not intelligent enough, you are stupid, your brother was not intelligent, I beat him at school, so you cannot become a doctor. So I did not argue with them, but within myself, I said, I'm not measured by what the teacher says. So that story or that answer did not discourage me. It really stimulated my resolve to prove a point to myself and to that person.
I want to go back a bit. So you stood up as a young Mashudu.
Yes.
And
as an 11-year-old.
As an 11.
In the class, kids, and there are a lot of other kids, it's easy for the kids to ridicule you. You stand up there with your little confidence, and it gets crushed. And you can feel it going through your whole body. From your brain, everything crashed down, and you said, wow. But I said, I must not accept this defeat. And I must not accept to be measured by what people think about me. I must believe in what I know that I am. So that personal belief is what pushed me along all the time. Even till now, there are people who says a lot of things about me, and I said, let them talk, but I know who I am. So this is a theater with it. ENT theater.
That knowledge of self and his determination to succeed carried him beyond the limitations of apartheid South Africa on a black rural child. For a man who lives and breathes innovation in science, Prof. Tshifularo is rather disappointed with the country's investment in this sphere. Do you think enough is being done to invest in science and innovation in this country?
There's no school of innovation. Is there a school like that? No. Is there a subject at school about innovation? No. So how do we expect to solve our problem? Are we going to wait for people to come from outside and try to solve our own problems? Why? because we don't believe in our brains, we don't believe in our people. That narrative must change. I know there are many reasons that makes that narrative not to change, but imagine if we can turn it around. We talked about that civilization has started in Africa long ago.
Prof. Tshifularo's love for science and innovation also drives his motivation to lead transformation in the country's science and medical professions.
When I get to the class and it's full of all the kids of different races, I congratulate all of them. I said, you are very intelligent. You are the future innovator. Because I was never told all my life as an undergraduate student at medical school, anywhere else. I decided to change that narrative. I tell them that don't be pushed down by what your teacher says to you. You have what it takes, and keep on thinking beyond what you can. Follow the principle of science and the basics, which is very, very important. But know that you can come with a new idea of doing new things.
As can be expected for a man of his achievements, Prof. Tshifularo has received many accolades through the years. He was bestowed his latest honor, the African Genius Award, just a few months ago. The Genius Award is usually reserved for a person with exceptional skills geared towards solving the numerous problems of modern times.
I think they called my secretary, they sent the email. Then I saw the cell phone, I said, let me phone back. When I phoned back, I said, is this a joke or what? She said, no, it's not a joke. I said, what do you mean? She said, yes, you have been nominated for African Genius Award. I said, what? African, Cape to Cairo. She said, yes. I said, oh, okay. Then I still thought it was a joke. Then she continued with the emails and emails and email. The last email to me, she said, come to Sierra Leone and receive the well-deserved award. I said, this one has already told me that I've won. Because you get nominated, they have judges, then they judge your work. So it's not like voted. So somebody looked and they nominated me, and then they look at it. And I think they said the third, if not the fourth, since they started 2021, African Genius Award. You have to get more than 95% of the points that they score. There are those who are just given nominee for being a person of influence, being a person who is contributing. But the main idea is to recognize Africans, to encourage African people descent, because the world judges us as blacks as not very intelligent. And I read a book some time back which was said that Africans are consumers, they are not producers. They just gobble whatever comes. I said, but no, we can do our own things. So when I got this award to be recognized in Africa, that's when they told me that, my friend, you are the genius laureate that we are proud about as a black person.
This one is the main one. This one.
The African Genius Award. What does that award mean to you right now?
It affirmed what I always believe I am.
Yeah.
I said, I've made an impact. This one is the American. So they recognize me as who is who in medicine from America. How is that? But the big thing that comes with it, I got accolade and congratulations by people whom I never expected they watch. I was surprised even a person like Naomi Campbell said, hey, you are a goat. I said, what is a goat? The greatest of all time. I said, okay, now I'm a goat.
You'll take it.
Yeah, I take it. I said, I'll take it. I said, of all the awards, I've got a lot of awards. I said, this means a lot. but mainly for us as black people. Our children must be proud. They must not be, you know, I end up saying even education and things, you laugh what I'm going to tell you. Even when I do PowerPoint, I look for black people. So if we love ourselves and we believe in what we can do, then let's believe in our people.
To a young person who, when he looks at you and says, I definitely want to be there one day, what is it that you can say to that person right now?
I can say to that young person, you have what it takes, and believe in yourself. Don't care what people say, and know that you are born for a purpose and a reason, and keep on pushing. It can take years. Like, I mean, I've been doing this thing in the middle ear now for almost 30 years now, because I believed in it. Believe in something. You can't be a jack of all trades, be everywhere. No, you won't succeed. I tell people who I said, when you say yes to A, you are saying no to B. Don't be afraid to say no to B and say yes to C. And stick with that.